Alright, welcome to Talking Time with Caffeine, Season 6, Episode 28. And Vandalia is once again at work. So, here we are in this conundrum, except now we're also out Brandon, so...
Yep, and no Jesse either, looks like.
So,
Did you even try Jesse?
No.
Try him.
Does he want to be a regular person on the podcast?
Does he want to what?
Be a regular person.
It seems like it. He seemed bummed that he missed out.
You know, I got an idea. How about instead of the current topic being triple question marks, we call it catching up, not Oppo. Oh, damn it. There we go. Well, that failed.
Oh, shit.
So, I guess we are both Brandon, or out of Brandon and Jesse, this podcast, so if one of the two don't come in soon, then I'm once again anticipating that this is not going to be a very long podcast, even though I said that last time and it ended up being a longer podcast than I thought. And why is Skype having this weird thing? So why didn't McDonalds do to piss someone off? It pissed Vandalia off, I guess, because he's at work again. Oh, now Skype fixes itself? What the fuck? Oh, wait a sec. Are you kidding me? Oh, fucking damn it. Alright, you know, I'll just do this.
Get off your ass, lady!
There. That's close enough for now. If I see an advertisement again, then I'll just adjust it to not show the ad. Because Schnick's the only person in the call, so because he doesn't have his webcam on, ads will probably pop up on Skype.
It's a very, very, very barren podcast episode because pretty much the only thing I can think of at the moment is following up on Wednesday from Tuesday and showing some videos I took of a hurricane.
Yeah, and meanwhile my dog barked. I'll try and...
What's ironic though? They say this year's hurricane season's gonna be more active than usual.
Oh, there's Jesse.
Reading, baby.
Maybe this won't be as short of a podcast as I thought.
You okay, Schnick?
I got Dark Souls 2 Black Armor Edition, which came in a fancy steelbook, so now I'm playing it.
Ooh.
Because I did not own Dark Souls 2 physically, neither did I own the first one physically. First one, I'm gonna buy the remaster on disc, so I figure, you know what? The version of Dark Souls 2 I played was Scholar of the First Sin. May as well get the original version, since I hear all the item placements are different.
Huh.
I got it on the 360 since the Steelbook edition was cheaper there. Came with a fancy soundtrack, some bonus weapons and whatnot.
There's some interesting stuff at PAX East, over at Nintendo's booth. Well, Nintendo didn't really have a thing. They just kind of had a section showing off games that were about to come out.
What's PAX East?
Yeah. Like,
what?
oh wait, what? Do you not know what PAX East is, or do you know?
I do not know.
PAX East is... It's like a middle-of-the-road gaming convention, where it's kind of big, but not as big as E3. It's just like, whatever, it's just like a really small gaming convention that the public is open to. It was basically the public's version of E3, before the public was allowed to go into E3 anyway, so... There's PAX East, PAX West, and I think it's PAX South, but I'm not sure about PAX North. I don't think PAX North exists.
Damn.
But anyways, it shows off a bit of new stuff like gameplay for Wolfenstein 2 on the Switch, which looks surprisingly good.
I was just talking about how GameStop is giving away the collector's edition of that game basically for more than 50% off. It was $100. Now they're trying to give it away for $35. I'm like, I got my standard edition for $25 during Black Friday. I'm like, oh my god, I don't know what to do. Should I give in, or should I not give in?
I'm not sure.
All I get is a fancy steelbook and a toy of Terrorbilly.
What else did they show? They showed off Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy, Wolfenstein 2, the Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze port.
Speaking of Crash, the Spyro HD collection is confirmed to be real.
Yeah, and it also got leaked for the Switch because Nintendo of UK can't keep it secret.
Yeah, like, I think if it is getting a Switch port, it's not coming out at first because,
I think
the PlayStation and Xbox are getting versions to start.
I think Nintendo's gonna reveal it at E3 because basically what happened was there were so many leaks around the Spyro trilogy that Activision was like, whatever, we'll just throw out a trailer. And Nintendo of UK listed the Spyro trilogy and basically took it down like a few minutes after. And then after that, there was an interview with the devs asking where the Switch version was, and they were like, we can't comment at this time, so... So it's probably coming later, but I don't think it's going to be too later, like maybe a month or two, not a whole year like Crash.
Yeah.
Either way, I'm glad I could finally play these games. I've been wanting a Crash trilogy remaster for a long time. I've only played the first Crash game.
Here's a question.
Well, I mean, around the time the HD collection was announced, I had the digital versions. Like 2 and 3 were given to me for free because of PS Plus. But then I figured, oh, I need to own the discs. I got Crash 3 relatively cheap, same for 2, but the first one's getting super expensive. But eventually I lucked out. A copy was sold to me for $20, and it even happened to be the original Black Label edition.
Jesse, did they show anything that was new about Crash, or is it literally the same exact stuff from the other consoles?
It's pretty much the exact same game. The only difference is that Crash doesn't have fur, and he's more smooth. But that's about it.
Well,
apparently
he doesn't have the Switch.
He doesn't have his dynamic, weird, fuzzy fur from the HD trilogy. He kind of has like just more of a regular model.
Okay, they should have made it so it's like, if you buy our version, you'll get an exclusive Crash 1 look. Or Crash PS1 look, I meant. I don't know why I said one in particular.
It still looks like the trilogy Crash, just a smoother model. Like, I don't know how to explain it, it's weird. Like, his model has like weird texturing on it to make it look like fur, but it's not actual fur like the PlayStation and Xbox version, so...
Well, to be completely honest, I still don't get why they added a Crash trilogy a year after. Like I said, they were kind of way too late to the party.
Because Sony needs some protective layers, that's why.
Yeah, it was a timed exclusive, so... I mean, a year is still a long wait for a timed exclusive. Anyways, what else?
Well,
I guess I could...
I don't know. I feel kind of weird about how Crash is on other consoles than a PlayStation. You know, like it feels really weird.
Yeah.
So Mario has no protective layers.
What?
Anyways, the only Spyro games that I played were the New Beginning, or as people call it, the Legend trilogy, and the first Spyro game. And I also had a Spyro game for the DS, which was not a port of New Beginning for the DS, but it was, what was it called?
I think it was.
Pretty sure
I
it was
think
just
there,
called Spy.
I know there was a Spyro game made specifically for the DS, and I think it was the last game in the original series.
But hey, that game can't be as good as the crossover GBA games they had. Don't you want to fight Cortex with Spyro?
Please, no.
Or how about facing whoever the fucking villain is in Spyro with Crash? Because even though I own the first original Spyro game, I still don't really remember who the fucking villain is.
It was the red short dragon, I think.
The red short dragon. Thanks for the info. So helpful.
Spyro is free? No, that cannot be.
By the way, you just reminded me, I have all 5 main games in the original series, and I just got the second game in the Legend trilogy. You just remind me I need to get the third one. Too bad the third one's expensive no matter what platform you look at. I think the Wii version is the cheapest at maybe $20, $25. PS2 version I think is $30. 360 version is close to $50, and PS3 version was at $60. Thankfully, though, you can buy a digital version of the 360 version for $15 on Xbox Live.
What game were you talking about? We're talking about Spyro: A New Beginning.
No, I'm talking about the third Legend of Spyro game.
Oh.
Though curiously, A New
Beginning
Beginning you can buy on Xbox Live to play on 360.
Yeah, I have that version of the game. I have that version, and I have really weird Spyro versions. I have Spyro: A New Beginning for the DS, Spyro: A New Beginning for the Xbox 360 digital, and I have Spyro: The Eternal Night, I think it was called, for the Wii, which is a sequel to New Beginning. And then, what was it? Spyro, I think it was called The Year of the Dragon or Wrath of the Dragon, something like that, which was
I think that would be the third one on the PS1.
Yeah. It was for the PS3, Xbox 360, and I don't think it was for the Wii. I think there was a DS.
Wait, no, it was called Dawn of the Dragon. That one's the rare one.
Yeah, Dawn of the Dragon. That game's completely different from the other 2 games. Like, 1, the style's completely different. 2, it adds a lot more content. It kind of looks a bit like a God of War game when you play it because of the way the camera moves instead of the third-person view. I don't know, that game's weird. It's still a decent game, but there's a lot about it that is just kind of jarring coming off the other 2 games.
Yeah, but if I were to get that game, I probably would just buy the 360 digital version unless I really wanted to invest in a disc. Because the disc of the 360 version is like $40, $50, and the PS3 version's even worse.
Yeah. If I were you, I'd just get the digital version.
Digital's only $15. Honestly, the only reason I haven't gotten it now is because there's never been a sale for it. Because truth is, the 2 more recent Crash games, Crash and the Titans and Mind Over Mutant, they are on Xbox Live, but they were both $40. And I wasn't paying that much. Eventually, though, they both got a sale for $10 each, and I was kind of holding out for Spyro to get the same treatment, but that hasn't happened so far. At least I know the games are not going to get delisted, given that Activision's keeping them and finally deciding to do something with them.
Yeah, so I read when the trailer was revealed for the HD original trilogy, somebody in the comment section said, "That's pretty cool. I wonder if there's going to be a New Beginning trilogy HD." And then a person under said, "New Beginning was way too recent." And then I commented, "New Beginning was 12 years ago." So.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I'm fighting the last giant in Dark Souls 2, and I'm about to win.
Yeah. Also, the third game depends a lot on the story of the second game. So if you haven't played Eternal Darkness or Eternal Night, then yeah, you're probably gonna be a bit lost to what the story is about. Also, do you know what's okay? this is a bit of a spoiler, but at the end, something happens to where there are islands in the sky now, right?
Okay.
And basically, this was the last Spyro game before Skylanders.
And a lot of people think that it led into Skylanders.
Yes, when the name got revealed, people were really excited because they thought it was the 4th game into the new Legend series. And then when they released the reveal trailer, it got dislike bombed so hard.
Uh-huh.
Because it just wasn't Spyro. I mean, it has Spyro elements, but it just isn't Spyro. It's
ironically, the developer of all the Skylanders games is making the HD collection.
I don't know that. I knew that it was made from a different company from the Crash remake, but...
Yeah, it's being made by Toys for Bob, who made the Skylanders games. Pretty much the only other game I know that they're behind.
Hello?
The PS2. Baby's Kisses.
Okay.
Why did I vanish? Do I have to hover over the end call button?
No, you didn't
vanished
vanish.
For me for a second, but I'm not sure if you vanished for Adam or the stream.
For me, it was just silent for like 4 or 5 seconds.
Yeah, me too. Like you were about to say something, and then your voice got cut off, and then you said, and then they made the PS2 games, and then I'm just like,
Yeah, for a second I thought the call fucking died. I'm like, what the hell?
Me too, I thought my phone crashed. I was like, hello.
Hello.
You seem to be fine now, though. If you could talk.
Wow.
Yeah, you're fine now. Yeah, I kind of went.
Anyways,
I kind of went silent
tell you
myself.
guys how. Anyways, I could tell you guys how my day went, I guess.
Well, you didn't really finish with the whole Nintendo showing off stuff, did you?
Oh, yeah, Nintendo didn't really announce anything. They just kind of showed off gameplay of games that already are announced. So, I mean, they did reveal the SNK pack with 40 games, which is like the old games, like what was it called, Crystalis? If you know what that game is. Apparently, it's really popular, but I've never heard of it. So. Yeah, and that's about it so far. I'm pretty sure there's still more days to it, but yeah, I was surprised they had Wolfenstein 2 up.
I'm kind of surprised they didn't show Nintendo Labo, because I figure that would be a big upcoming thing. But if they don't show it at PAX, they're going to show it at E3, most definitely.
Yeah.
I still have one big problem. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, Nintendo did release 2 trailers of Labo. One about how you could create your own Nintendo Labo with other cardboard boxes and just program Labo.
Yeah.
And another trailer about basically what you go through when you get Labo. But that's about it.
I mean, they released some videos for a while about it, and the ones I saw was the first one where it was announcing Nintendo Labo, where they basically didn't tell you shit, and I got pissed off because I figured that it wasn't going to be good, because just from what they showed, it looked like shit. And then after they give us more information, then I think, oh, okay, maybe this isn't as bad as I originally thought. So, and I don't know why, but I've noticed that for some reason, Nintendo just seems to love having vagueness in some of their videos sometimes, and it's really stupid in my opinion. I don't know if it's a marketing reason or if it's like something else, but I'm guessing it must be a marketing thing. Especially when the E3 is on the rise, but I mean,
I'm
still
like
though,
100% it's a marketing thing, like just to build up hype.
Still though, I don't think that having vagueness with Nintendo Labo was a very good idea in my opinion. It just seemed kind of stupid that they did that. And then once they finally released more information about it, like I said, didn't get as pissed off about it and got intrigued, but I still had one problem that I had from the first video when it was only that one video, and that's...
It's a goddamn toy!
Well, I mean, you're right. It is a toy called Toy-Con. But my one problem with it is just where the fuck are you going to put the cardboard at? Because, I mean, if you take a look at my room where it's pretty much filled with a bunch of stuff, there's like little to no room for fucking cardboard. So I have no idea how I'm supposed to even fit that. I mean, it's great if you have the room for it, but if not, then you're kind of fucked. I guess you could technically argue same thing with Amiibo, but those are way smaller. So,
yeah. I mean, I have an entire closet that I could put it in, so...
Nice.
I could see it being a problem for other people, though. And, I also see this misconception that it's $60 for one of the Toy-Cons, and I'm like, no, it's $60 for all of them except the robot.
Well, wait, what? All of them except the robot? Or are you talking about? Because don't those two packs come with the software?
I took him right, like, when I fed him, and then I took him, like, before I ate.
Huh. I guess it's talking to someone else.
Hello? Sorry.
Hi.
Sorry, I had to leave for a second.
Anyways, as you were saying?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Do you hear us? Alright.
Okay.
So as you were saying?
I lost my train of thought completely.
Damn.
We were talking about Labo, and...
Well, I know that much, but...
And about the space for Labo. Oh yeah, there's this misconception that it's $60 for one of the Toy-Cons, and $10 for the cardboard, like $70, but I'm like, no, it's $70 for every single Toy-Con except the robot.
Well, don't the packs come with the software, though?
Yeah, like, when you get the $70, you have all the Labo cardboard, plus all the software that goes along with it, plus the Toy-Con Garage, which is the code your own Labo, so...
You make it sound as though you're paying a separate price for Toy-Con Garage. But,
I find it pretty interesting what it's about, but whatever.
So you're saying that the money is mostly toward the cardboard or the Toy-Con? Like, you kind of said it in a weird way.
Apparently people have this misconception that it's for one Toy-Con, like it's $70 just for the piano and the software, pretty much. And then, like, no, it's $70 for all of them. Wow.
Okay, how do people have that misconception, though? Because the fucking advertisement says straight up that it's a fucking, like, multi-set thing, so you get multiple things, not just a fucking piano part. Are people stupid? God, that's as stupid as fucking saying, oh, we use an add-on. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I guess it just came from people in comment sections with laughing emojis saying, haha, Nintendo selling cardboard for $70 per part, and then people just got confused, so...
Well, if you were to say that you'd pay $70 for the cardboard, yeah, I would agree that would be a pretty obvious misconception, but if that actually... I'm even guilty of thinking that at first, because I was too quick to jump to conclusions, and I wasn't really thinking about it, but eventually I realized, oh wait, software. Well, yeah, but $60 to $70 for only the piano, even though the set is a multi-set. Yeah, okay, good fucking job. You're apparently unable to read, ma'am / sir / fuck you if you don't go by any of those.
/ sir / man / Shrek.
Oh no.
Anyway.
/ Ogre.
Ogre.
Which would be Brandon.
Anyways, what else about? When I first saw Nintendo Labo, the first thing I thought was like, this is so not Nintendo. This is really jarring. This is weird. It feels like something like I would see when I would go to Toys R Us. Well,
Oh
not
wait.
anymore, but yeah, not anymore. But yeah, that's what I kind of thought. And I'm like, this is really weird. I mean, it looks cool for children, but it's not for me. And then more information started coming out, and I started getting more intrigued, and I started kind of watching new Nintendo Labo videos as much as I can. Because, like, if you've seen the piano, it's actually like an actual, like, MIDI software. Like, you can create your own songs and wavelengths and all that. Like, it's a lot deeper than you'd expect.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it just, the overall feel of it just started reminding me more and more of Mario Paint, of just like a more modern Mario Paint. So, I mean, I'll see if we could end up getting it if we can, but I'm not sure how long it's gonna actually hold my interest, because there's a lot of stuff like that looks really cool, but in reality, you kind of just get bored of it after a week.
Yeah. You want to know one thing I'm confused about, though? I don't know why, but I've seen people say that, oh, Nintendo was specifically advertising Nintendo Labo to children, yet the only children things I saw at the time was just on their website, and that was like 1 or 2 pictures at most, and that was about it. Every other picture, I swear to God, was a fucking teenager at least. So, if anything, it doesn't really feel like they're advertising to children specifically. I don't know where people are getting that idea other than the building aspect.
I mean, I could see why people do that. Anyways,
another thing too. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I could see where people get that though, because the Toy-Con, like the Toy-Con thing, like the 3-part series, whatever Nintendo did on their channel, does have the freaking Wii U trailer, dude. And
it was the same. Wait, that was the same guy?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was the same guy who did the double Yoshi Exploshi weird marketing thing. Anyways,
I don't think I've seen that.
Oh, you haven't? It was a trailer for Yoshi's Woolly World. Like, it's just like a big yarn Yoshi crashing through a block, and then they're like, it's a double Yoshi Explosion, and they tap an amiibo and another Yoshi comes out. It was a really funny trailer, but anyways.
I don't remember seeing that trailer for Woolly World. I'm gonna have to look at that later.
I'm pretty sure it's a TV advertisement, so...
Oh, well, then even more reason why I didn't see it.
Yeah. Anyways, also right before they rebuilt Labo, they said Nintendo is creating a thing for kids and kids at heart, which was like their first marketing thing of Labo ever, so...
Yeah, but like I said, though, that's just one of the very few things that they even have towards children at all. Like I said, everything else they've had so far doesn't really show kids at all. None of their Nintendo Labo videos that are trailers or the 3-part series that had children. I think they might have had a video at like some other place where children were messing around with Labo, but I mean, other than that video and the 2 pieces of fucking photos or whatever they have at this point on their website, haven't looked in several months. Actually, wait, several months? That can't be right. Well, whatever, it doesn't matter. Point is that they don't feel like, or I don't feel like they're really advertising to children at all. Just they have the mention towards it, but not the push, I guess. If that makes sense.
And a lot of the actors seem to be like around 12, 13, 14 years old in the marketing pictures and in the videos. Also, the thing about the kid messing with the Labo, that was a Nintendo Labo event where what was it? The insiders like Game Explain and the
Game Explain. Fuck. Sorry.
Anyways, they were invited to bring their children and experience Nintendo Labo and all that, so...
Yeah, sorry I made that outburst. I just kind of don't like Game Explain that much. Because they're one of the YouTubers that fucking decides to do shit that I don't really like. Like, I don't really like it when people just decide, hey, I'm gonna get a video game before the release date. I think that's fucking bullshit. Like, if there's a release date, then everyone should get it at that date specifically. Yep.
Nintendo sends them the game. It's not something they request. Nintendo sends it specifically for review purposes. Like IGN.
But it's also stupid. It's also stupid when they post a review before the game too. Like, I just don't really like that kind of stuff.
They don't spoil any of the game. They keep like all the trailer footage and they kind of review the game, and they don't give a number score. They just kind of say that they either said the game was bad, meh for them, which is mediocre. They liked it a lot, or they loved it, and that's about it. They just kind of say how they feel about the game rather than a number score.
Yeah, but here's the problem, though. I think the problem is just that, well, if they're getting it without a request, then obviously they're doing some kind of deal with Nintendo. So that right there is already red flags to me, because I do not trust reviews from big companies like Game Explain or IGN. I just do not trust them. I can't.
Game Explain isn't a company.
Well, now
Game
it is.
Explain is like a group of 4 people.
Well, whatever. They're pretty big. If they're doing a deal with Nintendo, then I'm not going to trust them, because, I mean, there's no...
said pretty scathing stuff about Nintendo before. They said some pretty scathing stuff about Nintendo, especially Star Fox Zero and stuff like that, and Sticker Star, especially Mario Party 9. They're like,
yeah, those games kind of deserved a bit of a thrashing.
Yeah, they were like, when they first got Mario Party 9, the dude was like, why did it have to change? The original formula was just fine. Why? Yeah.
And
I think the only reason Game Explain is big because, one, they report on rumors and leaks that have credibility. 2, they do the analysis videos, which are like 40 minutes long. And 3 for their reviews that aren't really that, which are seen as kind of just how the people feel rather than a number score. I think that's the main reason why their channel is close to 1 million. So
okay.
I could understand if you don't like them, but I don't personally have a problem with them.
I don't know if somebody's getting games before release, I'm going to flat out assume that the company that sent out the product specifically told them not to talk that much badly about their game, because what's the point of sending them a free game unless for some reason they're making them pay for it? Like, hey, we're gonna send you a review copy, but you gotta pay for it. Like, oh. Well, what the fuck?
There are companies like Ubisoft, Nintendo, and I'm not sure if Sony does this or not, but they give copies out early. Excuse me. And they give copies out early, and they tell them to be honest. But there are some, if they give out a game for free, then it's usually a review copy. But if they give the person money along with the game, and like their video is actually just an ad rather than a review, then yeah, that's more of a, they're paying, or Nintendo's paying them to market their game. Yeah, sponsorship. And review copies aren't really sponsorship, in my opinion. But I guess they can be, but most of the time they're not, because, like I've said, Game Explain tells people how they felt about the game.
So, in other words, we know for a fact that Game Explain still pays for the game, but only to get it earlier.
I think it's because, it's kind of a weird thing to talk about, and I'm not sure to explain it. It's that they're seen as, like, a marketing tool, so Nintendo gives them an early copy. Lots of big YouTubers, like Jacksepticeye, who else? Dashy Games, if you know him. They get early review copies too.
Oh, actually, now that you brought that up, that's also another reason why I don't like them, is because, they get to have games before the release date only because they're popular. Wow. Oh, man, that's, yeah, I don't like that philosophy, in my opinion. Like I said, if a game has a release date, everybody should get it at that point in time. I don't, like, pre-release reviews to me aren't really that much of a concern, in my opinion, because I mean, if there's going to be pre-release reviews, it's just going to be big companies anyways. I don't really trust big companies because we've seen what they fucking did. IGN, for example, they fucking do stupid ass shit. Like, holy crap.
IGN's not a company. They're straight up.
Well, companies that make reviews in general, I just don't see them as trustworthy. So the only reviews I'm really trusting would have to be customer reviews, because at least then they're having the actual fucking word come out, in my opinion. I trust a customer more than a fucking company, you know what I mean?
I mean, I used to until the whole Breath of the Wild Metacritic thing, where people are like, this game sucks, hold your hand, it's like all the other Zeldas.
No, you know what happened with Breath of the Wild?
Yeah, they got
Jim Sterling gave the game a 7 out of 10, thinking it wasn't a perfect Jim. That brought the game's score from a 98 to a 97 on Metacritic, and Zelda fanboys flipped the fuck out. They were trying to dox him. They were trying to basically do all the things Digital Homicide did to him.
No, that's not really the thing that happened. Jim Sterling did give it a 7. Jim Sterling did give it a 7 out of 10, but it didn't drop the review score. What did drop the score? Well, what really dropped the user scores was people would just randomly, like, anonymous people basically would just write reviews saying that the game was horrible and that it was holding your hand and that it was no different than other Zelda games. I literally saw one saying, I played the first 3 minutes and the graphics were bad. I give this 0 out of 10.
Well, that's either a troll or a elitist.
By troll, there are like 250 users were like doing that because they were really salty.
That's the thing with review bombing, and not to mention, people will take advantage of saying positive or negative things about a certain game just to get attention. For instance, our old friend DSP.
Damn it.
A couple years ago, a game called Homefront: The Revolution got released. It got mixed reviews with praise for its open world, but a lot of criticism for bugs and glitches and just kind of being generic. Except here's something, there's 2 things. One, they ended up fixing a lot of the issues in patches, and say what you will, I don't get people that bash a game because it was released with bugs and glitches. Because here's the way I see it. Yes, a game should release, like, first launch with as little bugs and glitches as possible. But think about it. A lot of publishers, Activision, EA, a lot of the big ones, they have deadlines. And they force developers to shove things out the door to meet a quota. Yeah. Honestly, they could not get away with this in the past because, you couldn't patch games on, like, the PS2. But nowadays, you can patch games. So honestly, if a game releases with a lot of bugs and glitches, if the developer goes out of their way to fix all the problems, then I'd say I appreciate their effort. I wouldn't bash them because they didn't... essentially, people are like, oh, broken game! Why'd you release broken game? The developer's like, okay, don't worry, we're gonna fix it. Oh, you should've been right the first time, your game sucks!
So, here's a question, what would you consider a broken game exactly? Like day 1 release, broken game?
basically anything that has a lot of basically it has bugs and glitches and they're game breaking. Say for instance Diablo 3. When Diablo 3 first launched on the PC, it had DRM. But due to the fact that they weren't anticipating a lot of players, the servers got so crowded that essentially people would buy Diablo 3 and they couldn't play it because the servers wouldn't let them on. And then the exact same thing happened with SimCity.
I own SimCity. It's gross.
Well, actually, from what I've heard, SimCity got an offline patch, and the PlayStation and Xbox versions of Diablo got rid of the DRM as well.
Yeah, it's good. Did Sonic Mania ever get rid of its DRM or no?
Isn't that PC only?
Yeah, for PC, they get rid of its DRM.
I have no idea. I haven't heard
I thought Sonic Mania always had mods.
Sonic Mania does have mods, but I'm not sure, because I think you can still do mods through DRM, through like the Steam Workplace and all that, but
the thing with modding Sonic Mania though is that I had the impression that you could just go to the Steam Workshop, but apparently there actually isn't a Steam Workshop for Sonic Mania. Instead, what you have to do is you have to download a whole separate program that allows you to mod the game in the first place, and to me that's like, oh, what the hell? This is not what I expected. I mean, I'm not saying it's necessarily a bad thing, but it's not as seamless as Gary's mod, let's say. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
And also, I've had this thought. I don't remember if we had the conversation, Games Wars. I don't know if it was you that had me thinking this or if it was someone else. But, I think it was someone else. So, at first I thought, why get the console version of Sonic Mania if the PC version has mods? But then I thought about it, and I figured, well, the mods I see don't seem to be that great, because pretty much every mod I've seen has some kind of problem with their spriting, in which either it's incomplete and ends up using the Sonic Mania sprites in certain movements, it looks bad, or it's just a not so good mod, I guess. I don't know. And it seems like all mods do that. I don't know if there's ones that are good, but the ones I've seen are just bad, and I've seen a bunch of mods, so it's like, okay, well, if the mods are bad, then what's the point of modding Sonic Mania if they're not good mods? And what further made me thought this was the Steam Workshop thing, but I don't know if I would think that anymore. But overall, I'd get a console version regardless, because not only because of, oh, console's better than PC, I don't really think that. It's just more of, well, Switch, on the go, I have it, and PC, I don't take my laptop with me anymore. It's too big, unlike Switch, so it just works better.
Yeah, I think Switch is the best version of Sonic Mania at this moment. Just as long as we get cloud saving, then yeah.
Well, anyway, could I finish the point I was trying to make earlier?
Real fast, let me say something, then you could continue. I did see a really, really cool Sonic Mania mod where it was like Mario mixed in with Sonic, and it had like Mario Kart S special stages because it looked a lot like the FX chip, and I thought that was a pretty decent mod. Anyways, you could go on, Schnick.
Alright. So, the whole point I was trying to make is that I still appreciate when developers, even if they release a game with a lot of bugs, I still appreciate when they make the effort to fix everything, because truth is, they can very easily say, you know what, we're satisfied, we're not fixing this game, goodbye. And truth is, that has happened.
Yeah.
Batman Arkham Origins is probably the biggest example.
I have Arkham Origins for the Wii U.
Yeah, the thing with Batman Arkham Origins is that it launched with quite a few bugs, a lot of which were game-breaking. And the best part, the developers said, "Oh, we don't have time to iron out these bugs or anything. We need to make DLC."
Oh, God.
Needless to say, there was such a big outbreak that they begrudgingly went in and only fixed the bugs that would cause the game to crash.
God damn.
But then, from what I hear, the other minor bugs are still in.
I mean,
Wow.
I have the Wii U version, which I think came out later. I'm not sure if it was the original version or if it was.
Arkham City got a Wii U version later, but I think Arkham Origins came out on the Wii U with the rest of them.
Okay, I know that Arkham Origins, Arkham Origins for the Wii U has like the weird, was it the Electric Gloves DLC thing? That's only included for the Wii U version. It's really weird.
Yeah, I've never heard of that because I have the PS3 version of Arkham Origins.
Yeah, the Wii U version comes with like a special armor where Batman has the electric gloves and he like zaps people when he punches them. The only Arkham game I actually enjoyed was the first one. I couldn't really get into Arkham City because it was a bit too open for my tastes. And
Arkham Knight, I will say, I mean, Arkham Asylum, I liked it. City, I really liked it, if only because of the story.
yeah, the story is pretty decent.
Yeah, the story actually has stakes to it, and that's the kind of story I actually like, where it feels like there's something at stake, something you gotta push forward.
That's kind of what I felt with the first game, but I don't know, I just kind of lost
I mean, the
interest.
first game has that too. You're trying to catch the Joker.
I felt like when I was playing that I could constantly just die at any moment. Like Batman was always at risk in the first game, and in Arkham City you feel more like you're in the shadows and just moving behind everything rather than. I mean, yeah, you feel like you have to be urgent in order to get everything done. But in the first game, I don't know. I just prefer the atmosphere more.
Yeah, well,
They're both good games though.
like, Arkham Origins didn't really do anything special in terms of story. In fact, a lot of people criticize Arkham Origins for basically just being a glorified expansion of Arkham City. The one thing Arkham Origins got praised for is that it did boss fights pretty well, whereas the earlier Arkham games didn't really, like the first game especially, didn't have that many good boss fights. The second game had Mr. Freeze, but that's about it. But from what I've heard, Arkham Origins, a lot of its boss fights are considered good, especially the one with Deathstroke.
Yeah, the boss fights in Origins are pretty good. The original game, was kind of shit at doing boss fights. But yeah. And like, every 5 seconds, or like every time you would go and you would think you're gonna fight a boss, you'll just end up fighting like a mid-boss, one of those guys that ram into the walls. Basically
Yeah,
just
there's not that many bosses in Arkham Asylum. Like, I think the only kind of unique boss that's in Arkham Asylum that you actually fight is Poison Ivy.
Yeah, and Killer Croc, don't you end up killing Killer Croc, or am I thinking of something else?
No,
Also
the thing is, you have encounters with Croc and Scarecrow. Scarecrow is presumed to be killed by Croc, but then with Croc, you're basically running through the sewers trying to get a bunch of shit, and he keeps chasing you.
Yeah, okay, I'm starting to remember now. Again, I only played through the game once, and I didn't even 100% it because I was too lazy to get there with their trophies, so...
Yeah, I beat the game twice. Once on the original PS3 version, and once on the PS4 remaster.
I mean, I've replayed the game a few times, but only got around halfway to 3/4 of the way done, but then I get bored with the game, because the game is a bit long.
Yeah, I haven't really been into the Arkham games that much anymore. I will say, Arkham Knight, I pre-ordered it, and I bought it day one, just like I did Arkham City. Arkham Knight actually disappointed me.
Arkham Knight disappointed a lot of people, because...
Yeah, to me, like, I just felt like a lot of emphasis was put on the Batmobile.
Yeah.
Like,
while they did have new mechanics, a lot of it felt whatever. Like it wasn't really that game changing, and a lot of the story.
The gameplay with the Batmobile was just shooting tanks.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
plus
that felt-
the whole story with well, this is kind of a spoiler, but
Yeah, it is
I'm
a
not
spoiler. You're talking about the Arkham Knight.
Yeah, this basically like the story thing with Batman and the other person who he interacts with. You know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Basically felt like kind of a big cop out.
Yeah.
So. I
And
mean,
not to mention the pre-order DLC was pretty much a dead giveaway.
Yeah. Plus the PC version was pretty crap.
Yeah, the PC like a lot like the freaking PC Master Race bullshit. In fact, freaking the Crappy Games Wiki has an article on PC fanboys and how they're probably the worst out of all the system fanboys. But the funny thing is, even though PC has a lot of benefits, like oftentimes it's the only way you can play modern games in 60 FPS if you have a Mega Machine. You also get mods. You also get a lot more customization. But at the same time, there are a lot of catches. For instance, you don't just buy a PC and then that's it. You actually have to maintain it because PCs can break down a lot more easily, and there's a lot of maintenance involved with it.
Yeah, plus if there's a weird problem with the game and it's not, you don't really see anybody else have this problem, then you're probably gonna have to dig through the files and try and fix it yourself if you're dedicated enough. And if you don't end up fixing it, then you're just gonna have a half-assed broken game.
Yeah, like that's the thing. PCs are very unique, and they can run into many different games. Can run into many different problems running different games. And but if you buy a PlayStation or Xbox, it's guaranteed to work the same always.
Yeah, it's like especially if you have different architecture, like depending if you have an AMD card or an NVIDIA card, it's just gonna run differently. It's just lots of weird stuff that you have to take into consideration. Plus, you still have to upgrade. Like, even if you make $1,000 PC, eventually it's gonna get...
Like, after every 5 years or so, you're gonna have to upgrade it.
Yeah, and with graphics card mining, where they go skyrocket in price, then yeah. You know what I'm talking...
Not to, like, that freaking cryptocurrency craze. Like, for one thing, I think something doesn't sound right about that currency. Like, honestly, I feel like you just make a kind of money by just letting your PC sit there process shit.
Yeah, and it takes a
like
really
that just sounds illegal.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is really sketchy. It just feels really sketchy and really... I thought it was really flat.
So I am kind of hoping the market does implode at one point. If like there's like a government crackdown at one point.
There was a crash of the market, but the prices are still really, really high.
Oh, there was a crash, but now, but yeah, because I guess people aren't informed.
Yeah.
Like,
Also, I'm pretty sure it's not really worth to build a PC at the moment.
But getting them pre-built is a lot cheaper still.
Well, isn't the problem with getting pre-built PCs the fact that you might have to run into some trouble with upgrading some parts?
I don't fucking care.
Yeah.
I'm not a hardcore player of PC games. I'll just do with any pre-built PC that has the basic stuff I need.
Well, for me, it's not necessarily the fact that I want to be hardcore. It's more the fact that if I need to upgrade my PC because I need to just have a stronger computer, do I really want to have to spend a lot of money for a whole new computer when I can spend a fraction of it on a part that I need? Just replace it, and then boom, there I go. I mean, yeah, I can upgrade the RAM, that's good and all, but upgrading RAM doesn't solve everything for me.
Oh, also...
And also another thing is that I don't even know what I can and can't upgrade on my pre-built laptop, so that causes a whole nother scenario on top of the fact that it's just pre-built. Like, for example, I like a better processor because I have a freaking Intel Pentium, which is like the worst Intel processor as far as my knowledge goes, and kind of misleading name, by the way. So I want to upgrade it, but I don't even think I can because it's... So I think I might be fucked.
I think you'd have to turn it into the company if you have a warranty, so...
Yeah, well, good luck with that, because this fucker is like at least 4 years old. There's no warranty for this shit.
Then, yeah. Pretty sure you're just kind of screwed there.
Yeah,
also,
so there you go.
Also, the thing with RAM prices have also skyrocketed up. Like, if you want to try and get like 16 gigs of RAM, it's gonna cost you like $600 apparently now.
Well, I mean, to be fair though, do you really need 16 gigabytes? I mean, I don't really know what you'd use 16 gigabytes of RAM for exactly.
Here, just search up RAM inflation, and then go on to Newegg, and then you'll see how just insane RAM prices have gotten.
Well, sorry to go off topic again, but I actually completely forgot about the point I was trying to make about people stating opinions about games just to get clickbait.
What?
You're talking about, stemming from the Breath of the Wild stuff?
I was trying to say how our old friend DSP was trying to use Homefront the Revolution. So, I own Homefront the Revolution on Xbox One, and truth is, I thought it was fine. In fact, I actually found out the game has a really cool Easter egg.
What?
If you walk up to an arcade machine in-game, you could actually play the first 2 levels of Time Splitters 2.
That's strange. Are they part of the same developers, or did they get the rights for the game?
Yeah. The game was initially developed by Crytek, who had the rights to the Time Splitters games, but then Crytek gave up the rights, and I think they gave up the Time Splitters games with it.
Yeah, rip Time Splitters. It was good.
Originally Deep Silver got a hold of them, but now there's word that Deep Silver was acquired by THQ Nordic. And THQ Nordic might be bringing some old stuff back. In fact, there's even rumors that they got a hold of the Nickelodeon license again. They might release some older games.
THQ Nordic has been talked about a lot recently, especially with the SpongeBob and Nickelodeon license, plus them buying the...
There's rumors that a Battle for Bikini Bottom remaster could happen, because supposedly on THQ Nordic's own website, they claim that they got the rights back.
Wait a second, I thought THQ went bankrupt.
They did, but
they did.
That's a little bit of a story. So, when
it's a really long
went
story.
bankrupt, they gave away the rights to a lot of their IPs to a whole bunch of different developers, like Saints Row, Metro, and eventually Homefront went to Deep Silver. South Park went to Ubisoft. Company of Heroes went to Sega. WWE went to 2K. But basically, anything that was not taken by another developer, they all went to a kind of small-time company called Nordic Games. Like, they got a hold of Red Faction, Destroy All Humans, Darksiders, and the likes. So, Nordic Games are like, we got these fancy THQ properties, let's see what we can do with them. So far, they've made Darksiders. They've continued the Darksiders series. They re-released Destroy All Humans. There's been word that Red Faction Guerrilla's getting a remaster. And recently, Nordic Games is like, you know what? Pretty much all we've been doing is THQ stuff, so they renamed themselves THQ Nordic.
Yeah, plus a lot of the developers that were from THQ and a lot of the big names are at Nordic anyways, so...
And I think it was stated that Deep Silver was purchased by THQ Nordic, so they got some of their franchises back.
Oh,
wow. THQ surprisingly has been staying alive after all these years after their bankruptcy.
Yeah, like, the whole reason why they went bankrupt is because of the failure of the U-Draw.
Yeah.
And now they're like, we're not making that mistake again.
What's the U-Draw?
Basically, it was a gimmicky tablet that you used to draw shit. It was a success on the Wii, a mild success, but then THQ was like, hey, let's bring it to PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360. It was so expensive to produce, and nobody on PlayStation or Xbox wanted the thing, so it did not sell, and it was such a huge loss that THQ went bankrupt because of it.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, and to think that THQ was a big name like Activision back in the day too.
And now
And-
they're kind of starting to come back thanks to Nordic.
Yeah. I still think they're pretty small now, but THQ Nordic
Yeah, they're
has
not,
been...
they're not a huge thing, but given that they freaking purchased Deep Silver, like they're starting to.
Yeah.
I will say this: if Battle Bikini Bomb is remastered, I would probably play that because
I
played it as a kid, and that was one of my better games that I had at the time.
Well, anyways, like I was trying to say before, with the whole clickbait thing, sorry to get away from that, but we'll go back to it and like speculate on that. Freaking DSP, he made a scathing review of Homefront: The Revolution. A lot of his arguments were petty. Like, he kept complaining of, basically, it just amounted to him whining about the frame rate. Saying, oh, the weapon customization is cool, but but because of the frame rate, I can't aim them and I can't win. And he was also complaining about other things, like how NPC models were reused and whatnot. And he claimed all of that made Homefront: The Revolution the worst game he ever played. And
Like, the game had
even at the time when I first saw the review and didn't really know who DSP was, I was like, worst game ever? To me, it just looks like a mediocre game. And I actually got a few likes on my comment.
How bad was the FPS though?
He was playing the PS4 version. I've heard that there were dips, like at launch, there were dips into 20 frames, which is not at all unplayable.
Was it base 30 frames?
Like, it's supposed to be 30 frames. I have the Xbox One version, and I've always heard the Xbox One version has always done better. And truth is, when I played the Xbox One version, maybe it's because the game was already fixed at that point, but I never saw a frame rate drop, ever.
Oh my god, Schnick. Sparrow said, what kind of awful life turns someone into DSP? I can't fathom how bad it would have to be.
You know, speaking of DSP, I took freaking Brandon's, not YTP, but how he inserted DSP's face over the Hey Arnold Hitler. And I made my own kind of edit. Essentially, I open with the DSP tries it, YTP intro. I play clips from his Dead Space 2 playthrough when he was freaking pretending to be a Nazi. And like, I have him saying all those sick things, and then he says, "Oh, Isaac Heimler, that's my name, haha." And then I cut to the Hey Arnold clip saying, "Little did I know." You hear DSP laughing, and then Grandpa Phil turns over. And then I basically used Brandon's clip. I modified the audio. Instead of Grandpa Phil crudely saying DSP, he says, "There, standing before me, with eyes glowing like fiery coals, was the Fuhrer himself, Isaac Heimler." And then it goes to the fight, and then Phil's like, "Take that, Heimler! I'm gonna beat you red, white, and blue!" And I'll actually play the clip, because at the moment I left in the original audio where he says, "Nein, DJ, Uncle, Uncle!" Because I don't know what's funnier. DSP getting a wedgie and going on his "this is stupid" rants, or actually giving in and yelling "Uncle, Uncle." I don't know which one's funnier, but so yeah, his Homefront review, he calls it the worst game ever. He compares it to Conduit 2, a Wii game, which I heard was not bad, but not that good either. But he claims, oh, Conduit 2 is a shitty game with shitty frame rate, but at least it was innovative by kind of being a Halo clone. Except...
What?
No.
It's like
It's the funny thing is,
Right.
Conduit 2 can get away with it because it's a Halo clone, but freaking Homefront's bad because it's a Far Cry clone.
Wow.
And
wasn't Far Cry like really innovative for its time? Like, I know
the
was
original
really-
Far Cry, freaking Crytek made that crap. Like, the guys who were supposed to be making Homefront, they made Far Cry.
Yeah. I can remember Far Cry 2 and Far Cry 3 being really big. Not as big as Halo, because, you know, Halo is really popular.
I mean, well, Far Cry 5 recently came out, and it's actually getting a lot of praise, I heard.
Far Cry 5, to me, feels very samey. I mean,
that's kind of the thing. Like, I think that the series has kind of been the same since Far Cry 3.
There are some changes, like, you don't have to take over towers anymore, and it's a bit more natural.
Well, supposedly they even threw a joke making fun of that.
Also, you don't use health packs anymore, which I think kind of sucks. It just has a generic regenerative FPS health.
I mean, I might still get the gold edition if it ever goes on sale, because I hear that in the DLC is actually a remaster of Far Cry 3's campaign.
It seems interesting.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm sure it's a good game, but to me, it just feels kind of samey.
Yeah, well, that's a thing with a series that's starting to get far in.
Yeah. The only thing I'd say that's really interesting is the setting, how it's in,
Yeah, it's in the United States. That's the first for the series.
Yeah, I love when stuff is in the United States for me, because it feels, I don't know, it feels special because I live there, so pretty much that's
also
it.
you have to figure out how they would factor the United States in, because they had all these exotic locales in the earlier games, and it's like, oh, how would it work in the U.S.?
It's just dangerous mountains, pretty much. And
yeah, well, they say it's like in the northwestern U.S.
I think yep, there's my stutter. Anyways, it takes place in a state that begins with M, so...
Montana? Is it in Montana? Let me look this up now.
Mississippi?
Yeah. I don't think it's Mississippi. It has alligators.
Wait, is Mississippi?
I said I don't...
No, I was right. It's Montana.
Motherfucker.
See, told you. Anyway.
So, I was saying how freaking DSP was saying, oh, Conduit 2 is innovative, but Homefront isn't. He even compares it to Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5.
I've only played Pro Skater 2 and 3.
I have on the PS1, and I also got 3 on the PS2 and 2 on the Dreamcast, but the thing is, Pro Skater 5 was a really shitty game. And he says, yes, Pro Skater 5 was a shit game, but at least its frame rate was good.
But at least it had a skateboard. Ugh.
That's basically his only justification for freaking Homefront being worse.
Yeah. It's
so,
stupid.
It was a very clickbaity video, and you know what? It worked. He got over 1 million views on that video when it first launched. But he didn't take advantage of that newfound popularity because he quickly faded into obscurity again.
Yeah. Anyways, I'm not sure where to go off of that. I kind of wanted to talk about what the days for me have been like. Schnick, you're a bit weird. You went quiet. Okay. Schnick, you're really quiet for some reason.
Oh my god, that reaction was like fucking unique for some reason. Oh yeah, also by the way, we were originally talking about people complaining about games being broken upon release. Schnick?
Yeah. You're really quiet. Like, I could... Schnick, I think you're gonna have to disconnect and reconnect, because now you're starting to cut out plus being extremely quiet, so... Yeah. It's just me and you, Adam. Oh, okay. Ding, ding, dong. Hello? Did my phone crash or no? Okay, it didn't. Oh, okay. Also, I don't see how McDonald's factors into this podcast, but guess we'll get to that.
Okay. Vandalia, sincere apologies. I'm gonna have to fucking do something about that later.
Okay.
Because fucking... So my brother comes in, of course he comes in shirtless, my camera's on, and I'm gonna have to probably end up cutting out this video, and I might have to download the entire stream, find that specific part, literally cut it out in Premiere, and then have to export the entire thing, and then re-upload the entire thing. Fucking great. All because of that one thing. Okay, seriously, that door right there, you see that door? That needs a fucking lock, bad, because I can't have people keep doing this. It's like I tell people, hey, I'm doing a podcast, but then no one cares. Like, what the fuck?
No,
it kind of pisses me off.
What you should do is pull a Home Alone and put one of the burners things on the doorknob, so when they touch it, it roasts their hand.
Oh, shit. No, you know what? Just do that, but replace the wooden door with a metallic door and just fucking roast the door. So even if they don't touch the fucking doorknob, if they touch the door itself, it'll still have the same effect. So, ha!
It's like they go to push the door and then, like, half their arm melts off, like, all the way to the elbow until they realize that their arm melted off.
Sparrow, the problem is that Vandalia doesn't want people being shirtless. Like, I made a comment, I think, last year, sometime in 2016, where okay, for a little bit of context, it was a podcast where at one point I ate spicy hot Cheetos, or no, flaming hot Cheetos, and I made a comment saying, can I take my shirt off? And Vandalia said no, and he expressed that he didn't want people shirtless, and for some reason my brother just decides that he likes to be shirtless around this house, so of course he comes in my door shirtless, so now I'm gonna have to cut that out because of what Vandalia doesn't want, so yeah. And now it's going to apparently be a fucking problem. Okay, yeah. I've joked about how I should put up a sign and shit, but at this point, I think I literally need to do that. Like, it's such a problem in my house, apparently, that nobody just seems to fucking care. Which is ridiculous, because I take this kind of seriously.
Yeah. You put up a sign, do not enter, or else. It's like, they try to open the door, they get halfway through, they step on
Wait
their
a
trap.
minute. Wait, it was because I was a minor? So it wasn't because you just didn't want people shirtless, it was because of the fact that I was a minor. Oh, so that means I do not have to cut that out then. Because if so, then I guess that makes my job easier. And now I gotta wait for a
Nick
response.
says Review Tech USA would violate YouTube rules big time then. Dude, I love Review Tech USA. I don't agree with some of his points, but I do watch his channel, so.
Forget the dogs, beware, human. Yeah, beware of fucking human. Beware MarioTube.
Beware of bear trap on door.
Beware of seizure when I make my fucking app for my Philips Hue light flash multiple colors really fast. Yes, I can actually do that, but none of the people that live here have a seizure, and yeah, I don't know why I'd want to have someone have a seizure, but there you go. Okay, I don't know if Schnick is just not gonna call back, but I'm just gonna call him back myself. Because he hasn't come back yet.
I mean, I think there might be a reason why he's not here, so.
I doubt it.
Yeah.
Why didn't you call back yourself?
There's layers.
No, because you're testing me again? Is that it?
No, I'm testing the damn podcast, that's what.
What the fuck does that mean?
What
means
is
the podcast has to stop getting rid of my voice.
Well, it's not... Wait, stop getting rid of your voice? That's not a podcast problem, though. That's a Skype problem. I don't know why you think the Skype, or the stream itself would cause that.
really strange
Layers.
liars?
Baby's kisses.
Anyways, I'm probably gonna tell what my day has been like. So yesterday, or technically today, I fell asleep at 2:30 a.m. watching Brandon's stream of Minecraft when I was supposed to be.
Wait, you were watching that stream?
Yes, I was part of the chat in that stream for a while.
Oh, wow. I guess I didn't see up to that point then, because I didn't see it last night. I watched a little bit of it during lunch hour at my school.
Yeah,
and I need to finish watching it.
Right before the beta, I'm pretty sure. Before he got to the beta part, so.
When you joined?
Yeah. And we were talking about Sparrow Monster and a bunch of other stuff, but anyways.
Damn, Sparrow. Anyways.
Okay, anyways.
Yeah! Yeah!
Yeah.
Fucking died in
Damn it.
goddamn Dark Souls 2, so that's bullshit.
Okay. Anyways, freaking, what was it? Okay, so I fall asleep at 2:30 a.m. I wake up really exhausted. I had one of those sleeps that don't even feel like you fell asleep, but in reality you just closed your eyes and then you open them again.
Oh,
I hate those types.
oh, fuck. I've had like 2 different versions of that in the past before.
Yeah, so I woke up feeling just like horrible. Like I felt like it's like when the cartoon characters open their eyes and they're just like, why? But anyways, so I start the day and I go to school, and then the first 2 hours weren't that bad, but I was really, really tired, like by the second hour. Third hour rolls in, I realized that I'm gonna need a script, and basically I needed to film a lot of stuff for the project I'm doing in Norfolk's class, and what ended up happening was I ended up having to write the entire script in 50 minutes. And
Oh, God.
yeah, I had to write it really, really, really fast, and it hurt my hand by the time. Then I get into my math class, and we have a test, and I completely forget how to do the law of cosines, and I basically did half of the test, and I'm like, Miss, is it alright if I do this later? I have to get to my science class. And she was like, when later? And I'm like, on my off hour, or maybe on Monday. And she just shakes her head, no, but you could retake it on Wednesday. And I'm just like, well, damn it, now I'm gonna have a 0 and or like
Are
a
you
1.
fucking serious?
Yeah, it was really stupid. I don't get why.
Wow, I've heard of teachers being like, oh, you can't do this during class time anymore, so you're gonna have to come in on your own time. No, this teacher is like, no, fuck you, you do it when I need you to. Or when I want you to.
Yeah. So, I already feel really pissed off about that. So then I go to my science class afterwards, and my phone dies in science class because my battery sucks. What else? I end up telling Norfolk that I need the studio, so the studio's open and all that, so... Anyways, I'm in science class, and it was just really shit, because we were doing a lab project, and I had to do basically like 80% of the work for my entire group. When I get back, this one dude decided to be funny and sharpen all of my pencil to the point where it was at the eraser, so now I had no pencil.
What the fuck is wrong with that dude?
I don't know.
What a fucking asshole.
Anyways, I get to lunch and I'm waiting in line, right? And then I realize, oh wait, I don't have any money. So I didn't go. Yeah. So then I didn't get to eat today until, guess what? So I didn't get to eat until literally 30 minutes ago. Anyways,
Get off your ass, you idiot!
Oh, I'm sorry, Snake. I'll stand up for you, Snake, since you told me to.
Yeah. Here we go, dude. This is the life now. Well, fuck you, I'm doing it now. Okay, so here you go, guys. Standing up podcast, where we don't drink caffeine, we drink H2 bleach. I don't fucking know. That was kind of unexpected, but it should have been expected. No, we drink bleach and we eat Tide Pods. Shit.
Yeah. That should be Sonic's new food. Instead of chili dogs, it should be Tide Pods.
No, fuck you.
Yeah. Tide Pods. Gotta go fast. Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Anyways, Games Force is telling his story calamity, apparently.
Yeah, so by this time I'm extremely stressed out, and I ended up going on my off hour with my friend Josh to film stuff, and then I realized the one dude who I needed to film on my off hour ended up not showing. So really all I did was roughly edit the footage that I did on Thursday, and plus a few extra scenes that I thought would make the project look a bit better. And then after that, after I'm just editing, the class starts, my actual Norfolk class starts, and freaking apparently on Thursday, this guy named Andrew just left McDonald's in the studio room, and there was a cowboy hat in the middle of the floor for some reason. So Norfolk pulled up like a presentation of pictures he took, like really cinematic pictures of freaking McDonald's just grossly in the studio, and then he's like, so, who did this? And then the person who did it was like, oh, Norfolk, I take full responsibility for that, I'm sorry, I should have known. And then he says, okay, you're not allowed to be in the studio room without my supervision anymore.
Oh.
And plus, I think he said that he's probably going to have to do book work or something like that with the CS5 Premiere, like, thick book. Anyways,
what
I
is
don't know, he was like threatening us or something, or not really threatening us, but saying that if he did something that he didn't like, that we're going to have to just do like the After Effects Premiere learning thing through the book until he said that we were good enough to just do what we want. Anyways, it was really stupid. So after that, he's like, okay, now open Google Classroom and type what you did for the past 2 months. And I'm just sitting there like, what? So we had to write down all of the stuff we were doing for every week until like March 20, or not March 22nd, until like February 22nd. So from this Thursday all the way back to February 22nd's Thursday, we had to write down all the projects we were working on for that week. So, and you said that had to be our first priority. So, of course, everybody kind of just forgot what they were working on. So that takes up like 20 minutes of recording time of what I wanted to get done, and I'm just sitting there like really pissed off. I'm just like, Norfolk, this is probably one of the reasons why we don't get stuff done. You always end up doing like 30-minute speeches. Well, I don't say that to him. I think that because he does that all the time.
That's ridiculous, dude.
Anyways, after that goes on, me, my friend Josh and Brandon were just recording scenes. Then eventually, until there was like, I think 30 minutes left of class, the one dude who I needed to film with did end up showing. And of course he had to get the freaking classroom thing done first, so we ended up getting a lot of the stuff we did want to, but I was kind of being an asshole because I was like, guys, we have to hurry up, stop messing around, please stop. Because how stressed out and just how much I wanted to get the filming done. We did get a lot more than I expected, but not entirely more than what I wanted. More of a middle ground. So then I go into Spanish, and in Spanish, I was burnt out, just completely burnt out by that time. I was extremely tired. I was extremely stressed out. I did not want to do any work, so I like did half of a page of work in Spanish class, and I go home, and this is still at 3. I fall asleep, wake up at 7:30.
Damn.
So yeah.
Kill a guy in unique way.
Yeah, most of the time spent today was just me sleeping. Then I wake up to a text message by Vandalia saying, "Can you please make a new thumbnail for podcast?" And I just did not have enough time. Sorry, Vandalia. That's kind of the reason why I just had a really stressful day today. If you're still in the stream, anyways. So.
You know what happened with me the past couple days?
Huh?
Miss.
Yesterday, I basically felt like that I was being set up for failure that day, because literally what happened was in math class, it's like we fucking... Okay, so we're taught this one thing for several weeks, and I'm not going to go deep into what you're supposed to do with the problem or really explain, but basically the gist you need to know is that we were taught if you get a fraction out of the question, it's counted as wrong, and you put, well, not counted as wrong, okay, if you get a fraction and that's the only thing you can get, and you know you did the problem right, then put no solution because you don't get a solution out of it. And then out of nowhere yesterday, now the rules have fucking changed where, oh, now a fraction can be an answer, just you can't graph it. And by graph, I mean a number line. And I'm just like, what the fuck? Because I know for a fact that pretty much everything else we did, the fucking fraction was a no solution, and it was counted right for everything else up to that point, and now they just fucking changed the rule. And on top of that, it was the day before the fucking test for the whole unit, which was today. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? That is bullshit. And
it's like usually how people teach is that they set up a really basic idea and then they kind of expand upon it. But in this case, it was just like you were learning it and then they just completely flip it on its head and just completely change one aspect right before the test. And that's just really stupid.
Yeah, and the worst part is that when I bring it up to people, it's like everyone fucking thinks I'm crazy. The teacher thinks the teacher acts like I'm crazy. The fucking students seem to think I'm being weird. Like, the students seem to act as though that the thing that was changed is a norm. Like, it was always like that. Like, dude, what are you talking about? That was always an answer. We didn't put no solution. Teacher, oh, I don't remember doing problems where there was a no solution when we got a fraction. It's like, are you fucking kidding me?
Pull out like 7 worksheets that have no solution, and you're just like, what's all this?
Yeah, and the thing is that those ones were also counted as right. So why is it that those problems were counted as right, but now right before a fucking test day, you're just gonna flip the fucking rules on us and just say, oh, this is how it's done now? And the fucking weirdest part is that everyone just accepts it except me. Like, what the fuck kind of shit is that? And I'm basically forced to adapt to it. And that's one of the reasons why I hate school, is because sometimes you'll get fucking teachers that just do the most stupidest shit like that. And fucking... It makes me think that I'm not really learning anything. I mean, in math class, I already feel like I'm not learning anything in high school, but fuck me. If the fucking rules are just going to be changed, then that just kind of breaks the legitimacy of the whole thing, in my opinion. Like, as soon as you flip rules on me, I'm just not going to really trust the whole thing anymore, and it's just going to be a waste of my time, because I don't know what's really right or wrong. So, was it the previous thing, or was it now the new thing? Who fucking knows? Nobody, apparently.
Yeah, and what's stupid is that we had to do a test this, like, today, like, the week right after we get off of spring break. And what's really stupid is that the unit is split, and it was basically the math teacher's fault that we have to do a test today. Like, we were learning about law of sines, law of cosines, and all that right before spring break. So then a week passes, and everybody, like, completely forgets it. Then she says, like, oh, homework was due over the entire week of spring break. Hope you didn't forget it. And then after that, we did basically nothing but practice over the week. And since, like, they were pretty decently hard questions, like, pretty challenging questions, since, you know, it's nearing the end of the unit, I was struggling to get stuff done. Eventually, I did figure it out on Thursday, but then I go on the test today, and the reason I struggled so hard with the test was because I just couldn't wrap my brain around what to do for the law of cosines. Like, what it is just triangle stuff, trigonometry, pretty much. Yeah. Where you have to use an equation to find this, like, a side length or an angle percentage and stuff like that. And I'm just sitting there, and every time I put it in, I end up hitting a roadblock. Like, oh, I can't fill in this answer because I don't have this specific part of the answer. Or, like, a triangle set up a specific way. I'm just like, okay, I know this is the law of sines, or the law of cosines. And when I put it in, it's just not working. And I try, like, different versions of that equation to see if I could, like, you know, take one side of the equation and flip it to the other to see if I could get an answer of some sort. But no, I just keep doing as many versions of that as possible until I could try and do it, but I just end up keep erasing it anyway. So I end up flipping to the back and doing all of the law of sines, because that's actually what I remember. And then I just couldn't finish the test. Like, I got like 2 out of the what, like 10 questions done, because 1, the questions are extremely long, and 2, I just had no idea how to do half of it. So that's when I asked the teacher, hey, can I just come in and take this, because I was really bad and I need to study for it more. Then she's just like, no, on Wednesday it's going to be a 0 in there, you're going to have to retake it and not just continue it. And I'm just like, why?
That's fucking bullshit, dude.
Yeah. It's just, this entire week has been really scrambling for me.
Honestly, if a fucking...
I was able to give up math after freshman year of college.
Honestly, dude, if a fucking teacher told me that I couldn't have extra time on a test and I'd have to redo it, even though I requested for extra time on the test, and it would be counted as a 0, I would be fucking going straight to a goddamn case manager because my IEP basically says that one of my combinations is I get extra time on things. So homework, if I need extra time, bam, I'll get extra time. If I need extra time on a test, bam, I'll get extra time on a test. And I'll typically get more than what a typical student would get, just because that's what my IEP says. So there's that. If a teacher denies it, though, well, first off, they're not allowed to, because that's fucking retarded. Second, I'm straight to the case manager, and yeah, I'd be pretty upset with the teacher, because it's like, you can't just fucking tell me no when everything is within reasonable limits, and my IEP says this, so fuck you.
Yeah. So stupid.
But continuing my story, though, it doesn't end yesterday, though. So the period right after, because pretty much everything happened within the last two periods. The second to last period was math, and now the last period is my second English class. And fucking, oh shit, what happened? Damn it, you made me lose track. Hold on. Oh yeah. So we had to study for this test called AZ Merit. Except instead of studying for, you know, stuff that would be on the test, we had to study how to use the fucking buttons that are on the test, because it's all on the computer. So there's that. And we had to watch this video to basically get the answers, except the video did not include 3 of the answers out of all of them. So I was kind of confused as to why. So I went up to the teacher and I asked her if she was trying to test us to see if we knew this, or if there's like a legit problem where she didn't realize that the video didn't have 3 of the answers. And I don't know why, but the teacher decided to fucking say, oh, well, everyone else got those right. And I'm like, okay, that's not my problem though.
Yeah,
like,
I hate
what
when
the
they
fuck?
do that. They're like, oh, you weren't listening, I guess, or something like, oh,
Well,
everybody
no.
else got it, why not you?
Well,
it's just stupid.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like she was saying I wasn't listening or paying attention. It was more of, it sounded like she was assuming that I didn't know what to do with those, when in reality, all I wanted to know was whether or not she was trying to test us, because if she wasn't testing us, then I could have told her, okay, well, in that case, your video doesn't include these 3 things, so I just wanted to point that out to you and try to be a little bit helpful, because fucking, yeah, I mean, she's a pretty nice teacher, though she acts differently when you talk to her one-on-one compared to during a class, which is kind of weird, but whatever. So yeah, she said that, and I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, what the fuck?
Okay,
So that pissed me off, and no, my story isn't done, actually, because it fucking goes on today as well.
Just so you know, my phone's at 9%, so I don't have a charger nearby.
Aren't you in your house?
Yes, but I don't have a spare charger. Everybody's using them, so
You need to get your own charger. Anyways, so to try and wrap it up, so today, fucking, I had to do fucking AZ Merit shit, and the worst part was that we had to do an expository essay, which I didn't really know how to do. I only really know how to do argument essay. Yes, we did practice both argument and expository in the second English class, but I didn't really remember a whole lot of expository stuff. So, you know what I had to do? I legit...
Also, continue your story. I'm gonna go see if there actually is a spare charger or not. So I'm gonna be back. Just continue your story.
Okay. So, you know what I did, Schnick?
What?
I legit cheated.
Cheater, cheater, pumpkin eater.
To be fair, though, I had to cheat, because if I didn't cheat, then literally I couldn't do the test. Like, it would have been impossible for me to complete the test. So, you know, okay, this is how I cheated. So I basically asked to use the bathroom. I went to the bathroom. I went in the stall, and then I looked up how to do an expository essay on my phone. It was that simple. I mean, if I'm in the bathroom, they can't really like follow me in there and check on me. So, or not check on me, but spy on me or anything. So there's that benefit. So I looked up.
Do you want to know something really stupid? That same math teacher requires you that either to give your phone to the teacher, or if it's apparent that you don't have a phone, she'll just say that you can't go to the bathroom because you might have a device to search it up. And I'm just like, what? So we can't go to the bathroom when there's a test, pretty much. Anyways, go on.
So yeah, went to a bathroom, looked up expository outline tutorial, and I had to also memorize everything because I couldn't just take my phone to the computer and, you know, look at the phone and then just copy paste. I had to memorize it. And luckily for me, that didn't seem to be too much of a problem despite me getting really shit sleep last night. And so I did that. I fucking got the outline, and I'm like, okay, I partially think that I'm not gonna be doing very well on this test, but at the same time, everything online says the same thing, so I'm just going to guess that this is how the school did it too. If not, then oh well, it doesn't matter to me because AZ merit doesn't really give or affect our grade anyways, so what fucking ever. So, I mean, the thing though is that I did try at the very least, and I completed it, and then in my second English class, thing horrifying. So everyone else tells me, oh, AZ merit doesn't affect your grade. Even the fucking person that I had to get to show that I was done, I asked that person that, and they confirmed, yeah, it doesn't affect your grade. But my fucking English teacher says, oh, because everything's done online now, and a bunch of other tests are getting their scores before the end of the year, it's more than likely that our score for this test is going to come in before the end of the year, and because of that, grades are going to be affected. And I'm just thinking to myself, did I just fucking hear that right? Because if so, that's fucking bullshit. Like,
yeah, it's stupid.
Like, okay, here's the thing. If it fucking affects the grade, how about you fucking tell us? Instead of having everyone else say, oh, no, it doesn't affect your grade. Like, the fuck? And if it actually does affect my grade, I'm going to be really fucking pissed off because it's more than likely going to lower my grade. And I'm also worried that it's going to be worth a shit ton of points, which probably means that I might get close or get an F. And I cannot afford getting an F this year at all. Like, seriously, I cannot afford it. If I fucking fail this year, that means that I'm going to have to either take summer school or I'm going to have to redo a year. And if one of those two things happens, I'm just going to fucking ditch. Or not ditch, sorry, drop out. I'm just going to fucking drop out because I already hate school enough as it is. And right now, school is stressing me the fuck out to beyond belief for some reason. So the fact that I would have to fucking risk doing even more schooling than the minimum I absolutely have to, that's just a ridiculous thought. I'm not going to put up with it. I'm just going to get something that's an equivalent to high school diploma if possible and just fucking go from there. I'm not doing any more high schooling past this year. Just, period. I will fucking drop out. I don't care what my parents say. I don't care what anyone says. I'm dropping out. Because I'm not going to fucking put up with a whole another year of fucking bullshit high school, and I'm not going to be a fucking super senior.
One more super duper year. I don't know the rest of the words, but it's another year.
SpongeBob reference.
Yep.
Super
the good SpongeBob, right?
Anyways.
See, I can't memorize that.
Anyways, do you know what's a thought that I had while I was zoning out and like not listening to the teacher?
Hmm.
I think it was a week or so ago. I was thinking like, you know, I don't remember much of last year or this year, to be fact. And then I started thinking about it, and I'm just like, you know, schools don't really teach us to remember stuff. They just kind of show us stuff, and then we forget about it. Like, schools are more so teaching us how to forget stuff.
Actually,
Because, like,
I'd have to disagree with that a little bit.
because, like,
I'd reckon, I'd actually,
just-
well, hold on a second. Sorry, I just want to say this real quick. I disagree with the whole school teaches us to forget. It's not necessarily they teach us to forget. We just forget anyways because, I mean, in reality, the stuff we're being taught, for the most part, like the required stuff, math, science, etc., in high school, it's really not needed. Let's be honest. I mean, yeah, there might be some positions that are needed, but for most, no, not really. So, because of that, we just don't really think it's important, and our brains just kind of toss it out the window because it doesn't need to retain that shit information that we assume is shit. And I reckon that school just teaches us how to take their tests, and that's it. That's all they do.
Yeah,
So,
that's
there you go.
what I was kind of thinking, that they just kind of teach us how to get better grades. Not really preparing us for life, but just how to get better grades.
Yeah,
I'll tell
and
you
it's
this
an
much,
outdated
my
system.
college advisor tells me good grades are good for getting your first entry-level job, that as you build a career, potential employers care about grades less and less.
Yeah, exactly. Fucking exactly.
So
I watched a video where they said, oh, if you get a college degree, once you get your first job, you don't really need well, not first job as in like a low entry job, but like once you get a first good job, I guess, then you don't really need the college degree anymore. It's completely useless.
It's completely useless now.
Not to say that I'm trying to tell you that you wasted your time or anything.
It didn't
but,
waste my fucking time. I got good connections.
Well, I'm not saying that it did waste your time, but I'm just saying that's what the video was basically getting at.
Yeah. So, anyways, as I was thinking about this, I'm just thinking like, okay, so schools, right, are trying to make us more of like high school and elementary and middle school are just trying to make us know the basics, and two, try to make us an everyman, like know like all these different aspects, basically to be like choose your path. But it's like, why can't we choose our path from the beginning? Like
choose our path, except you do all paths anyways.
Yeah, you kind of just do like 8 different classes, which is like 8 different things almost.
Mm-hmm.
And then like either way, you're not gonna become a master at every single one of these different paths. Anyways, you're only just gonna be a master at maybe 1 or 2 of the paths. Like maybe like you really like math and science, but suck at English and history. Well, too bad for you. You failed English and history, so that means summer school and that you suck. So it's like, why can't we just choose our path from the beginning so we could, you know, pick a job that we want? And I know that thinking would be that easy, because I'm gonna say this, as you're young, you don't really know to the full extent what you want to be until later on. And I kind of had this problem too. At first I wanted to be an astronaut, because who didn't want to be an astronaut? And then after that, I'm like, an astronaut's hard. I want to be an animator because I love cartoons. And then again in Orpho class, I'm like, you know, this media stuff is really fun. I'm sure I could get into this. And plus, even if I don't, I'll just be hopefully trying to put my time towards live streaming and YouTube anyways. So then that happens. But then I'm just sitting here like, well, if I'm wasting my time doing this media stuff that I kind of want to do, and if I don't end up like being happy doing it too, because you know you have to move around a lot, and if you're like a news anchor, then that's like even worse, in my opinion. So I'm just sitting there like, well, if I'm not happy doing this, then what's the point of me doing this? It's like, yeah, it can be fun while you're filming, but if you're doing it so often, then it's just not going to be fun. So I'm just sitting there like, well, what am I going to do? And I'm like, well, at the very least, I could become like a streamer or YouTuber. but even that is not guaranteed because of how shit YouTube has become, how they lower the raises, how the ads are disappearing, and how it just destroys smaller channels with other stuff. And so I'm just saying, like, I'm at this point, I feel like I'm just trapped in a corner of what I want to actually do. It's like, I love video games, I love media, like, stuff like that, but I can't create it as much as I would like to. Like, I can't sit down and do animation because I'll end up getting bored of drawing it frame by frame. And I can't go into video gaming because, one, I just don't have the time to learn, like, Premiere or Unreal Engine 4 enough to where I could just create games, like, not easily, but, you know, create a basis for a game. And the media stuff, it's like, yeah, I have some skill in After Effects, some skill in Premiere, but I'm not going to be using that. Like, if I get in a professional job in media, I'm going to end up using something different because they don't really use After Effects and Premiere because they're kind of like basic programs. You're going to have to learn some.
Well, actually, what do you mean by basic programs exactly?
Like, they're more advanced than iMovie and all that stuff. Like, all the, like, Movie Maker, they're way more advanced than that. They're way more expansive. But there are other editing programs that are just, like, way bigger than that more professionals use. Cause, like,
really? Because I've heard of stories where people that made big movies used Premiere and they have been really good.
Yeah, freaking Deadpool was made in Premiere.
Yeah. I mean...
Yeah, I want to go into more of the effects rather than editing.
Well, if you want to go more into the effects, wouldn't After Effects be the obvious answer?
No, After Effects is way too much of, like, it doesn't have enough. You would have to use, like, Blender and After Effects. You need to know a lot of different programs. Norfolk does this, and then I go and then I look it up, and then, yeah, it's pretty true that if you're doing a movie, then you're going to have to know a lot of different, or, like, doing the effects for movies, then you're going to have to know a bunch of different programs and basically, like, know it by the back of your hand.
Well, not only that, but that's also if you're wanting to do that specifically. Because if you don't want to do effects, then it doesn't really matter. But if you do want to do effects, that's a whole different story.
Yeah, it's like I like to be behind the camera, but I like the idea of cinematography, but I just suck behind the camera, so I can't be a cinematographer. Well, I guess I can be a cinematographer, but just not a cameraman.
Well, how come you can't be a cameraman? Like, what do you suck doing exactly?
Cameraman, really what they do is just, they do what cinematographers put them to do.
They do what? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Cameraman basically just do what the cinematographer tells them to do. And you still have to know, like, the skills of, like, what to do on the camera and how to, like, slide it perfectly down on a dolly and all that, but, you know, you still have to know how to handle a camera gently, but that's about it. You just do what the cinematographer and director tell you to.
Do this because I told you to. Because you told me to!
Well, but, like, what's the problem, though? Like, why do you say you're sucking at it?
Because when I try to do a pan, I just don't do it how I want it to, and I just get really angry with myself because I have really, really shaky hands for some reason.
Well, that's why you use a tripod. It's a lot easier to do stuff when you use a tripod. Or the other tripod where you put it on your shoulder.
The shoulder mounts, but yeah.
Yeah, the shoulder mount.
I can't do those because the shoulder mounts, I still end up being really shaky. And tripods, while they are fine, they have a lack of motion to them. I mean, yeah, you could get one with wheels, but of course that'll make the camera shaky and you just have to go, like, afterwards and do it. So, and plus I don't like
if you're moving, then, I mean, the only other answer I could really give you at that point would either be using a car or using something that's on wheels and a tripod. But at that point, that's kind of a stretch because, well, I mean, you're kind of risk having the camera shooken anyways if you use a dolly. I don't know if it happens on floors, but if you try using that shit outside, you're going to get fucked.
Yeah, and I don't really like basic shots with the tripod. Yeah, you can get interesting angles, but they don't really have like motion and feel to them. They don't really flow as well. Like if you just hard cut from one scene to the next scene, that's just like where both shots were just stationary. It won't flow as well. Like I don't like the feeling of that. I mean, some people might, but I'm just like not that type of person who likes those shots. So I kind of do lots of handheld, which of course means I have to keep my hands in control. But you know.
Well, the other thing you got to keep in mind too is that you can't just expect yourself to hold it perfectly still. There's going to be a little bit of shake no matter what.
Yeah,
like if you're holding it handheld, that's just kind of the thing that you got to expect. Everyone does that, even me. So I don't really see that as being an issue that's your fault.
I had to edit together a video for my boss summer camp. I had to do the whole thing handheld because obviously you're filming kids that are between the ages of 8 and 15. And they're running around constantly, so kind of using a tripod to keep up with all that's kind of out of the question.
Yeah, oh, and plus the liquid tripods can get really weird. Like with the handles and all that, how they could link, and plus when you try and move it, it won't be perfectly still, because you could run into like weird jaggies inside of the tripod's head. So when you try and move it smoothly, like, I don't know, like you have to do it at a certain speed.
Well, if you do, if it's like jaggedness in the tripod's movement, then at that point, I don't think you really have a good tripod at that rate. I don't know why I said that so awkwardly. I'm sorry.
Pretty much all the tripods in Norfolk, Norfolk's room are just completely shit now. Like,
how so?
Okay, so like one of them, their legs are completely broken. Like when you put the clamps on the side, it'll still just close no matter what. So you always have a crooked shot. Another one, it leaks out the liquid. Another tripod, the freaking handle like moves like right and left when you try and move it. So like say if you're trying to go left, the handle will go loose and it'll like turn to the right, like, you know, like it's not built correctly. It's like all the glue and stuff are just messed up, and the other one is just extremely loose on the head to where it just falls down and stuff like that. And plus some of the like
it can't hold its weight.
Yeah, and when you try and use the handle, the thing, it's just, you know, conducts your hand movement, makes the shot shaky. And yeah, and plus, I'm pretty sure a wheel fell off one of the dolly tripods, so.
You know what happened at my school last year when I was in my fucking media class with tripods?
Huh.
Okay, either the tripod was somehow broken in some fashion, whether it be it can't lock in place or a handle. I've actually had a tripod where a fucking handle was missing. So it was everything but the handle, so you couldn't even grip it right. Like you had to do awkward shit. And even then, it still couldn't be used because it couldn't hold the camera's weight, so it would just fall instantly. So there's that. And okay, so it's either the tripod is broken in some way, or you're missing the camera piece for the tripod, so you can't even use the tripod, period, at that point. And I swear to God, I've only had like maybe 1 or 2 tripods that would actually work. And yeah, a whole class versus 2 tripods, good fucking luck. It was so bad, I even fucking donated a secondary tripod I had. It was that fucking bad. And even then, you know, it wasn't really too much of a help because, again, 2 or 3 tripods versus a whole class. Good fucking luck, my boy. It was ridiculous. I'm like, dude, why do you have all of these fucking tripods and they're either broken or you can't use them because you're missing the camera piece? Like, why are you even keeping them at that point? That's fucking stupid.
Yeah, you could just sell at least the bases, like take off the heads and just sell like the bases of the tripod and maybe get some money for maybe 1 good tripod. I don't know.
That's kind of a stretch though.
Yeah. There
Oh,
was a big
well,
difference.
also keep in mind that this teacher didn't know jack fucking shit about video at all. Like, I'm not even kidding. I asked him for the most simplest questions on how to use Final Cut Pro. He could tell me, I'm sorry, I can't help you. And I had to teach myself the entire year. And then I knew more about him. No, I knew more about the fucking program we were using than he ever will. That's fucking stupid. He didn't do his fucking job. Fuck him. Anyways, continue. Well, actually, wrap it up, because we're almost out of time. I'll allow more time for Schnick, because he didn't really get to talk much about his story, but...
What was my story? Oh, yeah, the hurricane?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I kind of lost track of time. I'm gonna have to give you bonus time.
Alright,
Like-
hang on, you can wrap up your thing, because I'm in the middle of fighting some goddamn enemies in Dark Souls, and they're gonna kick my ass.
Well, anyways,
shit.
continue story? Or wrap it up, or whatever.
Oh, now Jesse got quiet.
Yeah, what the hell? Like, you're muffled. Hello?
Hello? Hello?
There you are.
Okay, can you hear me? Am I still really muffled?
No, you're fine now.
Yeah, that's really weird. Anyways, I kind of went off track and started ranting about my media class, so I kind of forgot. I was talking about how I was thinking about just prepare you for good grades rather than life experience. So
Yeah.
yeah, so I kind of lost my track. I was just saying like.
Generally, you were saying... Okay, the last thing I remember you saying was... schools teaches us how to forget these things that they teach us, and I said I don't agree with that, and stated that it's more... To me, it's more of they teach you how to do their tests, and that's about it. For the most part.
Yeah. Okay, so now I remember. What I was trying to get about that is that they teach us a bit too much. They don't go in depth of an idea. Like, they'll give you an idea for 1 week, and then they'll expand upon it a little bit, and then after that week you take a test, bam, you're done. And then next week you'd learn an entirely new thing that's somewhat related to it. You learn a bit more about that, go in depth, take a test, bam, you're done with that week. And it's like that for all of the main 4 classes pretty much, except I'd say English and maybe history if you have one big project that you have to do in those classes. But
for me, your description fits English and history.
oh, well, then yeah, those classes.
It's pretty shit. And oh yeah, I keep mentioning how I have both or 2 English classes. Yeah, that goes for both English classes. Last semester I had 2 math classes, same thing.
Okay. So, yeah. It just, you move along so fast that by the time you try and take a skills challenge that you forget most of it. They actually have to give you, like, research time. And because how many different things you've learned. And it's like, I don't feel like I went too in-depth into this some of the time. It's like, yeah, you do go into some pretty decent depth, but I don't think it's enough to make me remember it. And I'm just going to end up forgetting about it in a few years anyways. Like, try to think back to 9th grade and try and remember try and think of something you actually learned in 9th grade that you haven't forgotten about or that you're doing now. Like, besides multiplying and adding and dividing and all that. It's like...
Lol, I couldn't even tell you anything.
Yeah, see? It's just like you completely... it just nulls out of your mind. You just...
Oh yeah. Also, can I make a side note real quick?
Yeah.
Something weird about me that I've noticed in my math class is that the longer they stick around on a certain topic in math class, for some reason, okay, wow, I really messed that structure up. Let me retry saying that. Okay, the longer my math class stays on a particular topic or subject or whatever, the more I'm eventually going to kind of unlearn it as we're doing it. Like, it'll teach us how to do the thing, and I'll get the thing quickly, and I'll be able to do it with pretty high accuracy. I'll probably get some things wrong, but only because it was stupid, petty mistakes. And, I mean, for the most part, I pretty much get 90% of the questions right, so there's that. And eventually I'll get to a peak point where I'll pretty much know how to do everything that's been shown to us. But then, eventually what ends up happening is that somehow I just kind of forget how to do I guess not necessarily forget. The best way I can describe it is that we do it for so long that somehow the same thing just starts getting confusing. Like I learn it, I get it, but then if we stick around with it too long, then I don't know what to think of it anymore. Like I just get confused for some reason. So I don't know. It's like loading and then oops, sorry, unloading.
Yeah, that's how it is with me sometimes. And I think it's because I just want something new other than this topic. It's like after a while, like, yeah, this is pretty easy, and then after a while they start adding more and more layers to it, and it's no big problem because it's just small steps. But after a while, you're doing since you advance, like, say 4 steps deep into the problem, that some of the simpler stuff that you learned like 2 or 3 weeks ago starts to just kind of fade from your memory because you're just doing this stuff over and over again. And then when you get a test saying, oh, do this simple thing that you learned, and then you're like, okay, wait, how do I set this up again? Because I know that it's different than the other way we set it up, so it has to be set up a different way. Then you try to think about it and you confuse yourself and you end up fucking yourself over because the class doesn't re-teach you these things. Like, it should just be like, we're trying to teach you as a whole to keep everyone consistent, but since you have to move along and teach these kids as much concepts as possible, that it just doesn't really get across, and the students end up in their brain wanting just to move on from a different topic or something like that, and then you just kind of get like one half bored with it and 2 half confused with it because of how much layers the thing has to it. So,
and then on top of that, we're told that it's our fault.
Yeah. It's like, why?
Actually, now that I think about it, that's a perfect description for my Cisco networking class.
Yeah, and then I just sitting there and realized, like, god damn it, this is so bullshit. Anyways, so anyways, I think that's about it, what I had to say. So Nick could go on.
All I was gonna do was just play videos of that I actually took during the hurricane.
Sounds interesting.
Yeah, because it's supposed to be a follow-up from last time.
Also,
alright.
What's
Keep
with
in
the
mind,
podcast?
keep calling the storm, referring to the hurricane as a quote-unquote Frankenstorm. And no, that was not a freaking term made up by middle school schnick. It was an actual term being used by the media. By the media, the press.
Oh.
Wow.
Well, the reason why is because the hurricane weirdly merged with a snowstorm, so it was both a blizzard and a hurricane at the same time.
Oh fuck.
Do you want to know what's kind of funny? When the PSP came out, freaking the media called it the PlayStation Pornable because you could go onto the internet and watch porn on it. Anyways, we could go on. It was stupid Fox News stuff.
I mean, I know that GameStop once sold a used PSP that had a picture of a dick on it.
Wow.
And they had to compensate the kid who bought it.
Wow. Oh, also, that reminds me, I think a parent ordered a Splatoon copy off of Amazon, and inside was a porn DVD. So.
Oh, I remember that story.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that was ridiculous. Fucking. I'm like, what the fuck?
I am.
Yeah.
Alright, I'm not gonna show all of them, I'm just gonna show bits and pieces.
So the Frankenstorm hit. is. You see the wind.
You see the wind. The air.
I'm not sure if you can see through the rain, but yeah, it's here. I think he's here. Up, see? That's so fun.
Alright. Now I'm going to show... Let me see. Alright, well here I was playing Perfect Dark. I want to see if I actually open the window and you can see how it's screen.
Camera is freaking retarded. A bit of a suicidal move. Oh, see, I can't even pull this window open.
Okay, I guess I didn't show it. Now, this clip here is right after the tree fell down. I, to this day, regret not getting the tree falling. If any, you're still there.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, I regret to this day not getting the tree falling. Like, I saw it happen, but the camera wouldn't start up in time.
That sucks.
Yeah. In fact, later on, like when I had to take refuge at a friend's house after my power went out, I described the videos I was taking. And when I said, oh, I got a bunch of... I got all the wind and all that, but then they were like, but you could have got the tree! That's lame!
Hey, Schnick.
You should have went outside.
Sparrow put in Mother Nature is a Fickle Bitch, a film by Schnick 1990.
I mean, I basically made a freaking documentary out of this. I have a lot more videos of the aftermath, but most of them weren't recorded with my video camera. They were recorded on my Vita, of all things.
Vita has a camera?
Yeah, the Vita does have a video camera.
Better
Well,
than the
probably the
3DS's
reason
camera.
why is because I took the Vita and the 3DS with me to my friend's house.
Yeah, and the 3DS camera is shit, so...
The Vita camera is a bit better, but not by much.
Still better
Also,
than the 3DS camera.
I'm not sure if news networks still do this, but sometimes you could turn in clips of, like, the hurricane and stuff to them, so they could use it. Like, one time, there was a flash flood where I lived in New Mexico, and my dad took a video of it and sent it into the news, and Fox News actually put it up.
If I got a clip of the tree falling, I would have seen if I could have sent it in, but then again, I did at least get an interesting clip of the aftermath.
Yeah.
But you'll see when I get to it. So, this is the clip of the tree.
Alright, the tree, that tree right there, it just fell down. I am not joking.
The tree just went.
Yeah.
Now I'm trying to get the window.
That hard enough evidence for you?
Alright, then this clip here, I think I was filming my mom and dad investigating.
You can see out there, they're investigating.
Yeah, we don't need your input. Let's see.
Shut up, past Nick.
Alright, then this clip, these clips, well, this one's just more of the wind. This one is me talking to my sister about it. This clip was right when the power went out. I'll show it briefly.
So we officially lost power.
I think I turned the camera on right when the power went out. I was playing Deus Ex on my PC. In fact, I have it installed right here. And then you also get to see... Oh, no. Here we go.
So, it's been about an hour since the power went out. And
I have no idea when it's coming back.
Just a reminder, it didn't come back for 6 days.
Oh, no.
Funny thing is, most of my town got the power back in like a day or two. In fact, there was a point where there were several days where the entire surrounding area was all lit up except for my street.
Wow. Guess you know where their priorities were.
Uh-huh. My mom was seriously pissed. Like, after day 1, me and my sister were sent to my friend's house since they had power but no internet. And, my gram was eventually sent to my aunt's place. But my mom and dad just lived with no power. If the power were to go out again for such an extended period of time here, I probably wouldn't even stay in the house. I'd go out.
Yeah.
Alright, so, man, here's another clip.
So yeah, it's just me in my dark room. My baby's right there.
You sound like a part of a cult. Like, if you just showed that to somebody with no context, it would seem really weird. So I'm alone in my
Yeah,
room.
like, it gets worse. Like, at one point, I think I claimed I was figuratively having a hangover. Goes to show you how much I understood those terms back then, even though I was getting an understanding.
Hi. It's like 5:30 in the morning.
ASMR
Still
shit.
have the power back. I doubt it'll be back anytime soon.
Oh, fuck.
But I can tell that they're starting to work on it because most of the wind is gone, and
Yeah, good to know.
Schnick, you
And,
sound like
alright, now we find what happened now.
Schnick, you sounded like you were on low batteries in that scene.
No, I had no low batteries, because clearly I had enough battery if I was outside taping here.
Also, Schnick Sprouse says, hello, Darkness, my old friend, I've come and talked to you again.
Yeah, I know what that is. Alright, so this is my backyard in the direct aftermath.
I think it's mostly gone now. I forget what time it is, but it's definitely 2, so there's a close of the tree that fell yesterday.
Like how that just completely dodged that side of the other house.
By the way, I don't know what that noise is. It may have been a generator.
Maybe it's wind.
No, it's not wind. Oh, and that there is Blaze.
It's like a war zone back here.
Yep. You lose power?
Yeah, we don't.
Oh, I'm sure everybody
Notice
did.
how young he sounds.
Everyone back
When
here,
he
dude.
gets on the podcast,
Yep.
he's a lot older.
Oh, I'm just recording all the damage.
I think I go to the front to see if there's any significant damage, and I don't think there was. Okay. This is the last clip I'm gonna show, unless I happen to have the. I do not have the Vita videos with me.
Before you do,
So-
Sparrow says, surprisingly clear of debris, other than the giant-ass tree wreck.
Well, the oh, you thought that tree wreck was something? You're in for a treat. Okay.
This is a more extent of the damage.
Blaze and my sister would take me to investigate this tree.
Nick, I'm going on a little mission. Or which project?
Sweet, where is it? Hello? Hello?
This is seen from Cloverfield.
You went the wrong way, right? There was a huge tree that like uprooted somewhere. Oh, there it is.
Wow.
Oh, Jesus Christ
90 miles an hour.
Almighty. Oh, ho, ho.
Wow.
Oh, was this what caused the power outage?
Up here. Up here, not here. Could have caused it, though. Don't cause it for them. Yeah. Well, see?
Oh, God. How much money is this good? Are these people gonna have to pay?
No, it's not their fault. Oh, this is the old man's house, too.
Whoa! I did not notice that. Wow. Jesus. On the Jason man's house.
It looks like King Kong attacked your street.
Yeah, notice how the freaking grass, the shit.
Oh, I'm not going under there. Oh.
It's stable.
This is probably the biggest damage I've ever seen.
It's stable, climb on top of it.
Yeah, to this day, this probably remains the biggest kind of storm damage I've ever personally witnessed.
Okay. I fell apart already.
No way. Alex, if this whole thing comes down, I swear. It's dangerous up there.
So bad.
You would have broke.
Really? Let me see. Let me see. Whoa, okay.
Like, it's nothing.
Okay.
How was that?
Yeah, see, that would have been
Why
a
were
really
you-
good clip to send to the news. But
Why were you touching the tree?
No,
Or
we were
not the tree,
touching
but the
the
grass.
uprooted ground, like, to see how stable it was, because I was wondering, how is this thing holding?
yeah, just hold it up like a mountain.
Yeah. And you saw that one kid was trying to climb it where his parent or guardian was saying, no, get down.
I would have fucking climbed up there, dude. Looked interesting. I mean, it would be a nice photo.
I mean, as you can see, they're taking pictures going underneath it.
And
Yeah.
the caption underneath the photo is like, "We finally destroyed the neighborhood. Mission complete."
Oh my god.
Neighborhood domination is ours. Next, the world.
I will conquer the tri-state area.
Funny thing is, I didn't, like, I'm close enough to where that tree was, because obviously they repaired the yard and it looks fine now, just no tree. I'm surprised. I only ever heard my tree break. Like, a fall that big, you would think I would at least be able to hear it, but no, I don't remember it falling like that.
Maybe it's because the storm was just so loud.
Yeah, maybe the wind was loud. The
Yeah.
death of the world tree. Oh my god.
No, it's a tree from Home Alone.
Oh, is freaking Kevin. Does he try chopping it down, or does he light the rope on fire? Or no, he cuts the rope.
Yeah. No, at the beginning of the movie, the reason why everybody is late is because there was a snowstorm and a tree fell on the wires and all their clocks got reset.
Yeah,
So they had
Still, you freaking mentioned the Home Alone earlier, the freaking doorknob, putting it on the MarioTube's door.
Yeah.
And if that don't work, put a blowtorch. Because no, out of all the traps in the first Home Alone, oh my god, the freaking blowtorch with Joe Pesci's scream, that was probably the best part of the whole movie.
Funny enough, the part I think I've laughed the most in all of the Home Alone movies was actually the second one, where Kevin just keeps chucking bricks at freaking one of
at freaking Marv, and then like, seriously, one brick enough would probably be enough to crack his skull open and kill him, but no, he survives like 5 of them.
Yeah, I was laughing so hard because of one, the absurdity of it, and two, just how nonchalant everybody acted about it. It was hilarious. But
yeah, like freaking Harry, played by Joe Pesci, like he's like, alright, fine, let's throw bricks, and then he dodges them every time and they keep hitting Marv.
Yeah. I like the part when they're going up the stairs and they're like, the paint cans are coming down and they're pretending to get hurt, and then they actually get destroyed by like a full can of paint.
No, like, they were referencing a very similar trap from the first movie. They're like, oh, we know this, and then Kevin, like, freaking throws a freaking weight at them and knocks them down, then he cuts the weight and it rolls down and smacks down on them again. Because, see, that's the thing with Home Alone 2. Its traps are a lot more absurd, and, like, I mean, the first one was kind of stretching it. Like, they would take some abuse from the traps, and they wouldn't be able to walk it off as easy. But it's still at least a bit believable. But the second one, almost every trap would have killed them.
The second movie overall is way more cartoony than the first one. Except, I'd say the trap that I actually, like, cringed at the screen because of how much that would hurt is when Marv is walking up the freaking car steps in the first one, and Kevin, the sadistic little child he was, put a freaking nail,
and when he steps on it.
Yeah, and like nail goes halfway through the foot, and it has a really gross sound effect. And I'm just like, ah.
Funny thing is, I never noticed the nail as a kid. I thought him stepping on the ornaments was worse.
Yeah, the ornaments. I laughed at the ornaments. I was like, oh god, that's kind of hardcore, but whatever.
And that's like the thing. You think Marv is just a harmless little prankster, but the moment he steps on the ornaments, he's like, I'm gonna kill that kid!
Yeah. I like how after all those...
Oh yeah, Vandelia's talking about the shitty fourth movie.
Oh god, I've seen the third movie, which I thought was okay, I guess. But then the fourth movie, I just was like, this is disgusting. Apparently there are like 6 Home Alone
movies that everyone brings up continuity issues, but I generally accept the fourth movie as a reboot. But even then, you can tell they didn't really know how to follow the logic of the first 2 movies. Like, they have freaking Marv return in the movie, except they make him look like Harry.
Yeah, plus he's with a woman. Second, Kevin's played by somebody else. Apparently his dad and mom are divorced and they kind of don't like each other.
Yeah, the whole thing is, it was supposed to lead into a Home Alone TV series. Imagine how that would have worked. But then the whole thing is, they actually did approach Daniel Stern, who played Marv in the first 2 movies, to reprise his role. And he immediately declined, saying this, word for word, insult, total garbage. Yet, oddly enough, he would accept playing the dad in A Christmas Story 2, like almost 10 years later.
Oh my god. That's what? Apparently Home Alone 6 came out in 2014.
Home Alone 6? I know there was a Home Alone 5. I never heard of 6.
I think there was. I remember my cousins talking about the 5th movie that they saw, and they said it was garbage. But the sixth one, I'm just like, what?
I never
Okay,
heard of a sixth one.
Let's see,
But-
MSC, there's Home Alone 1 and... Okay, there's Home Alone.
Hey guys, just as a reminder, we've been going for 2 hours and
I
30
just wanted to
minutes.
say, well, if you want to count off all the sequels, you can. But I just wanted to say one more thing interesting about the movies.
Huh.
Joe Pesci's role gets a lot funnier once you... Because when you're a kid, you have no idea who Joe Pesci is. You just see him as Harry, the burglar.
Yeah.
But once you're older... Yeah, Sparrow has it right. Once you're older, you realize Joe Pesci is primarily an actor in adult movies. In fact, he probably holds the record as being one of the top 10 actors to constantly use curse words. Like, Goodfellas and Casino are movies that heavily drop the F-bomb. More than half of them came from Pesci.
Yeah, and then when
he
you go
knows
to
how
him...
to use the word fuck. And, funny thing is, during the filming of the first Home Alone at least, sure enough, that was like one of his first times working on a family-friendly movie alongside, I think, Michael Jackson's Moonwalker. But during the filming of Home Alone, especially during the filming of the trap scenes, he kept accidentally muttering fuck when he was getting all angry at getting caught in Kevin's traps. And it got so bad that eventually the director had to suggest, can you say fridge instead?
Oh, is that when he makes the weird freaking, like...
Yeah, like, I imagine, like, when he's getting all angry and pissed off, he was probably originally saying, oh, what the fucking real piece of shit, like, something like that. But then, in the final cut, he's more like, what the
Sounding like a gremlin.
No, sound like Schnick.
Truth is, some of the Schnicklish is inspired by freaking Joe Pesci's gibberish from Home Alone.
Joe Pesci could be a Mario and Luigi character. Like, you have Mario, you have Luigi, and blah, 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 blah. You have Joe Pesci.
And he primarily plays Italian characters.
Oh no! Damn it! Are they plumbers?
No, he's played a mobster. Most of the time, he's known for playing a mobster, and Sparrow's talking about the shitty PS2 game John Trump played. But most of the time, he played a mobster in Goodfellas, Casino, and at least a couple other movies, I think. Lethal Weapon, he plays a eyewitness to a crime. And he's just kind of a comic relief character. In fact, he even won a Razzie for Lethal Weapon 4, or at least got nominated. He played a lawyer in My Cousin Vinny.
Oh, dude, I love My Cousin Vinny. That's a
Yeah,
movie.
funny thing is that even though he curses in that movie, it's not nearly as much as some of his other movies. But yeah, My Cousin Vinny's amazing.
But I think I'm pretty sure it's my dad's favorite movie. Like,
I mean,
he has
I first learned of the movie's existence when I ended up getting shown it in my Law and Justice class in high school. And, oh my god, I was laughing so hard during the class.
Yeah. My dad actually still has the DVD inside of my mom's closet in this room. It's not opened out by plastic at all. Like, it's still in its premium plastic and all that. Like, it's not opened.
But now...
Hey guys, like I said, it's now been 2 hours and 34 minutes.
Oh, to quote My Cousin Vinny, you were serious about that? Schnick's thrown in a prison bus as he violated the podcast rules.
Anyways, you could wrap it up now.
Yeah, there was one other quick thing that I wanted to mention because I kind of forgot to mention this when we were talking about school shit. This is gonna be really fast. So, where's my thing? Okay, so I'll quickly explain the basic of this problem. So basically, the gist of this is that you're supposed to get X by itself and you're supposed to have like x less than or greater than or equal, you know, blah blah blah, and then a number. And typically we might have like a number line, and we're supposed to graph it, and this line determines whether or not it's open or closed. When we mark it on the number line, if it's open, it would just have this kind of symbol or this kind of symbol. If it's closed, it would look like this and have this kind of symbol or this kind of symbol, basically. So pretty much how we get this problem, x alone, divide that by 3, cross that out, divide the 6 by 3, and now it's x, and then 2. Now how you're supposed to get it right is that obviously this stays the same, so you would do that. But in this example, let's say I did that wrong because this situation happened to me today. And if you do everything else right, but you missed this one fucking line here and you didn't write it down here, guess what my teacher would do?
Huh.
Even though I do everything else correct, the whole problem would still be marked wrong. So I wouldn't even get any credit for that problem.
Wow.
Yeah, fucking retarded shit. And that's why I hate school, because the teachers do fucking retarded shit.
Yeah.
Did anyone
Yeah.
hear my Xbox One controller vibrate?
No.
Good. Because
All right,
I wanted
so
to test and see if my microphone would pick it up.
Vandelia, for that problem, there's no equal sign. Like, I mean, there's a variant of it where there is an equal sign and not the greater slash less thans, but if it's a greater slash less than, there is not going to be an equal sign. That's the only difference. Anyways, so that's finally it for this podcast. It hasn't been a long time ever since we went well over 2 hours, hasn't it?
I mean, the last time we did that was the season finale where we went to like 5 hours.
Oh yeah, that's right, 5 hours. Goddamn.
Ow, goddamn.
Huh?
This podcast is about as long as Lord of the Rings, so.
Yay.
Anyways, so that's it for this stream. Stay tuned for Tuesday for the next
stay
podcast
tuned
where
for Schnick returning to Resident Evil 3 practically right now.
oh, that too, I guess. And Vandelia, I don't know where his message is at this point, but somewhere in the chat he put that he was going to come back on Tuesday, so there's that. And oh yeah, also I've just realized the title of this as of this stream is fuck McDonald's. Yeah, I hate McDonald's. Yeah, I hate McDonald's. They're not real food. That's my opinion.
Yeah, didn't you start, and then I came in, and then you started talking about other stuff, and I'm just like, when's McDonald's gonna come into play? And like, maybe they talked about it for 30 minutes before me, so.
Well, when you joined 30 minutes, it wasn't even close to 30 minutes, actually.
So, like, first 5 minutes, fuck McDonald's. Next to the podcast, Hacks, East, freaking school, freaking Home Alone. We went places.
Freaking Hurricane Ridley or whatever the fuck.
Freaking
Hurricane Frankenstein. Franken-cane. Yeah.
No, Hurricane Victor. There you go.
Yeah! Anyways, yeah.
So, with that, we'll see you guys on Schnick's stream. Bye-bye.
What a perfect transition, because I just started my shit.
I just saw the notification.
And now I have to fucking get into the stream itself so that I can do a pop-out chat.